Welcome back, YouTubers, sports fans across the nation. This your boy Turtle, and this is my show. So, you think you know sports? And today, we're going to take a trip to the AFC West. This is episode number 6. We're going to take a trip to the AFC West. The Kansas City Chiefs won the division at 12-4. The Oakland Raiders were also 12-4. They kind of fell off at the end of the year. I feel like the Raiders really could have stole the division. But the Kansas City Chiefs were 12-4. They won the division, so you got to give them props on that. Alex Smith was had 3,500 yards passing with 15 touchdowns and 8 picks. Alex Smith is a game manager. I think everybody's pretty okay with that at this point, but the Chiefs must not be for them to go and draft Patrick Mahomes. So you never know with that. But Alex Smith is a that's game manager numbers. 15 touchdowns, 8 picks, that's game manager numbers. Just don't lose the game. Some guys are asked to win it, just don't lose it for us. That's all they're asking him. Travis KELCE had 85 receptions for 1,100 yards and 4 touchdowns. So he had most of those yards. I mean, he was going over that middle, loving that tight end a lot last year. Patrick Mahomes was their 10th pick overall in the first round. That's man, that was a shocker, man, because everybody was like, "You already got Alex Smith. He's a game manager. He's doing what he needs to do. It should be no point. It should be no problem." But with that said, they went ahead and picked up Patrick Mahomes with the number 10 pick in the first round, and that was shocking. It kind of spiraled the draft all over the place after that, really. They kind of went heavy on the offensive side this year. They feel like they need to rebuild. They kind of went heavy in the draft on the offensive side. So it remains to be seen exactly what the Chiefs will be made of this year. Pat Mahomes might be starting by the end of the season. You never know, man. It's anything goes. The Oakland Raiders were also 12-4. And like I said, Derek Carr got hurt at the end of the year. And, man, that hurt them. That really hurt them. Even going into the postseason, you never want to lose a guy going into the postseason, man. You never want to lose a guy going into the postseason. That's the worst time to have a big injury to the quarterback position of all places. But Derek Carr put up 3,900 yards, 28 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. So just goes in comparison to Alex Smith and show you Alex Smith had 3,500 yards, 15 touchdowns, and 8 picks. He had 2 less picks than him, 13 more touchdowns than him, 400 yards more than him. They asking him to go out and win the game, period. Alex Smith, they asking him not to lose. It's okay with that. Nothing wrong with that. But Michael CRABTREE proved to be a number 1 receiver last year. He proved a lot of people wrong, man. He put up 89 receptions for 1,000 yards and 8 touchdowns. So he was definitely a big help on that offensive side for Derek Carr. He sometimes you get in a better position. And it suits you a little bit better than that last spot you was in. And that's all guys need sometimes is a change of scenery. MACK put up 11 sacks last year. MACK is a baller. I mean, flat out. He's a baller. You don't need to say nothing about it. Wish I had a defensive end like that on the Saints team, man. He's a baller, period. And they went in the first round. They picked 24th overall, and they went with Gareon Conley, cornerback. They went heavy on the defensive side of the ball. Feel like they need to plug in a couple of different places where they lost guys and where veterans may have stepped in. Don't forget they got Marshawn Lynch now, so beast mode it's gonna be a nice team to be watching. Oakland gonna be a nice team to watch, man. Beast mode there. Derek Carr, CRABTREE, Khalil Mack. They got a good team in Oakland while it's still Oakland. And the Denver Broncos were 9-7. I mean, the Denver Broncos been up and down ever since they I feel like the Brock Osweiler deal, they should have kept him, to me. I feel like they should have kept him. It would have helped them and helped him. With that being said, though, Trevor Siemian did put up 3,400 yards, 18 touchdowns, and 10 picks. Back to 8, that's game manager numbers. It wasn't sufficient enough for them. 10 picks, he threw them in kind of bad times, in bad places of the game, which ultimately ended up costing them in a lot of those games. But even with that, I mean, they had 2,000-yard receivers with Demaryius Thomas going over 1,000 yards with 90 receptions and 1,083 yards and 5 touchdowns. Emmanuel Sanders had 79 receptions and 1,000 yards and 1,032 yards and 5 touchdowns. And so even with that, with a quarterback that's not too good, they still put up some good numbers. They went in the draft. They got an offensive tackle, so they know they need offensive line help, and no doubt about it, they need some offensive line help. And they also got Chad Kelly from the quarterback from Ole Miss, which was a good pick for them, man. They think he, if I'm not mistaken, he was almost Mr. Irrelevant. He was a couple of picks away from being Mr. Relevant, and he got a chance to not be Mr. Relevant with them. Like I say, they got quarterback all over. You never know with them. But the Chargers were 5-11. Phillip Rivers still did his thing. I mean, what's up, Princess? My dog, man. But yeah, the Chargers were 5-11, and Phillip Rivers did his thing. He had 4,300 yards. I mean, Phillip Rivers always show up. He had 33 touchdowns, but he had 21 interceptions, and that's what ended up costing him. Those 21 interceptions is ultimately what ended up costing him, because 21 interceptions, that means you was just giving that booty away. You know, you was just giving it away, just giving that ball away. I know they got Mike Williams in the draft, so they got a couple good players, but I think he ended up going down in minicamp. It remains to be seen how long he'll be out, and if when he comes back, if he'll be effective. You know, whenever those guys get injured in minicamps and stuff, it kind of derails the process, so to speak. And just to give you a recap, the AFC West, Kansas City Chiefs won the division at 12-4. The Oakland Raiders were 12-4 also. The Denver Broncos were 9-7, and the Chargers were 5-11. This year, I feel like it can go any way. The Kansas City Chiefs could either be really good or they could fall flat on their face. The Oakland Raiders, I feel like, are gonna be good. I mean, the Kansas City Chiefs, they let go of Jeremy Maclin out of nowhere. It's a bunch of different things that all of these teams are battling with right now. So that's it for y'all, man. Stay tuned for episode 7 and 8. I'm gonna bring out the NFC East next. I knew y'all was waiting. The Cowboys and company, I'll bring y'all next. OJ, you know, OBJ, getting, you know, so we'll check it out. Just stay tuned. You never know. Episode 7 and 8 are coming your way. Say the chance for last. Holla at your boy. So you think you know sports?